Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be tackling one of the most common questions in Raid. How much accuracy do I need? So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, if you are a more advanced player and you just want the data, you just want the meat and potatoes, I will go ahead and pop that up right away in the video here. So let's just pop up the chart. I have updated this. It had been a little bit since I updated it. I needed to get the arena numbers adjusted a little bit, and then I needed to add the Doom Tower now that that has been released since I made this infographic. And then if you're curious, if you ever want to find this stuff, like if you think a couple weeks from now, oh, what was that accuracy chart? You can always go to choflyelite.com, and then up on the top right, you can click here, and then under resources and Raid Shadow Legends, you can find some of the stuff that I have released to the community in terms of tier lists and infographics, accuracy recommendations like this. It will be on choflyelite.com if you're ever wondering how to quickly access that type of stuff. And one thing that I want to make sure I really hammer home is all of the PvE stuff is going to be pretty consistent and pretty reliable numbers. On the top left of that chart under arena, notice it says estimate. That is because that's PvP. You can't possibly control or know what your opponent is running in terms of their resistances, so that can vary a ton. Like in Gold 4, for example, it says 350 plus. Now there's sometimes in Gold 4 where you need 600 accuracy because the enemy team really stacks a high resistance Duchess or something, and they're not good enough to make it to Platinum, but they've got a super resistance heavy Duchess. So that does happen. You can't just build 350 accuracy and think, oh, well, the chart says I'm good in Gold 4 with 350, so why is this happening? You still have to be a little bit more diligent in PvP about that things may be different. But in general, I put 350 because if you're active in Gold 4 and you're being careful about who you attack and you're being smart about your offensive choices, 350 accuracy should be plenty to farm Gold 4 with a high win rate. So that is the data, and that is the quick explanation for you endgame players that just wanted to jump in and get the data as soon as possible and move on. If you're maybe more early game or mid game, or you just want a refresher course on how exactly the accuracy and resistance system works, I will do a quick basic rundown of the numbers and how they work with each other. So firstly, there is heavy diminishing returns as you get further and further ahead of your opponent in terms of accuracy versus resistance, and you can never get to a 100% consistent debuff placement. This most commonly was discovered by people back in the day when they would build spider farming strategies, and they would get these random fails and be like, what? My Draco has 345 accuracy. What happened? What's causing these fails? Back like a year and a half ago, and we didn't really know the formula yet. That was a very popular thing to come up, and people were so dumbfounded as to why all of a sudden the spider resisted. It's because it does not matter. If you've got 1,000 accuracy and your opponent has 0 resistance, there is a baseline of a 3% fail rate. So no matter what, you're gonna miss 3% of the time, no matter how good your accuracy is compared to your opponent's resistance. And then also, once you get about 30 or 40 accuracy above your opponent's resistance, you're gonna start getting heavy diminishing returns. Like the difference between being 30 accuracy above your opponent and being 100 accuracy above your opponent is very minimal. It's like less than 1%. So really, you're just aiming to get somewhere around 30 or 40 accuracy above what you're going against. And that will make sure you've got a nice 95, 96% chance of landing debuffs, but you're not sacrificing other stats that you could be getting, like HP, defense, crit damage, stuff like that, in terms of costing yourself those stats to get more accuracy when it's going to be making an extremely minimal impact. And then I do just want to quickly show you a couple examples of this in action. So let me make this just a little bit smaller here. And then we'll move it over here. Okay, so you see there, the highest accuracy you'll need for PvE content is around 375. Obviously, like I said earlier, it changes when you get up into the arena. But for PvE content, Clan Boss, Doom Tower, Faction Wars, things like that, the highest number we see on the chart here is 375 on the hard Doom Tower towards the bottom right. So then when you look at some of my champions here, Lydia, someone I use a lot for PvE content, look at the accuracy, 380. Accuracy, 380. Then we look at the Torment, who I use a lot in like Gold 4 and Doom Tower PvE content. Accuracy, pull it up, 377, around that 375, 380 mark. So you can see me kind of building champions in that vein to get the accuracy I need and nothing more. That way I'm able to get more stats besides that, instead of getting the diminishing returns of stacking a bunch of accuracy that I won't need. Now, if I need to use that Torment up in Platinum, if I decide to build some teams to make a Platinum push or something, obviously I'm going to have to adjust things and get Torment's accuracy to be a lot higher, hopefully around 700 or so. And then if I scroll down to someone like Draco that I use in the Clan Boss, right here is my Draco. You can see here that the accuracy is 285. So even a little bit on the high side, I only need about 255 to get really good, consistent debuffing from him. But the way the build just happened to go, I ended up with 285 accuracy, and that's perfectly fine. But going above that really wouldn't make any sense if it meant sacrificing another stat to do so. So that's just a couple quick examples of actually implementing these numbers into your thought process when you're building champions. And then in terms of the Doom Tower and getting that added here, I do quickly want to shout out Bobo. I'm going to pull this up. Don't give me credit for this spreadsheet. I did not make this. This goes out to Bobo, who released this information and put this together in a spreadsheet. And I used this when I was going through all the stages and trying to do my best to put a number for normal and hard. So I will try to remember to link that down below in a pinned comment so it's easy for you to find. If you want to pull up this spreadsheet and look at the different stats on enemies that you're going to be facing in the Doom Tower, and you can actually scroll all the way through. It starts on normal stage 1, and then you can scroll all the way down into the hard stages and go all the way to the last stage, and then it shows you the secret rooms as well. So that's an amazing resource. If you haven't checked that out before, definitely check it out. Great job, Bobo, and I will link to that down below. But let's get that put away and kind of wrap up here. So yeah, I don't really want to blabber on too long. I just kind of wanted to get this resource updated because it is definitely one of the most common questions I get when I'm streaming, or just questions in general from players, is how much accuracy do I need on Nightmare Clan Boss? Boom, you pull this up. 215, a good goal to aim at. Or how about Ultra, 255? And you've got it all listed right there. And like I said, you can go to choflyelite.com, and then on the top right under resources, you should be able to find this updated version of the accuracy recommendations. So if you have any questions, drop it down below in the pinned comments, and I do my best to read the comments coming in. Admittedly, I can't reply to everything, but I do try to set aside about 30 or 40 minutes every night to go through recent comments and reply to people that have questions. So leave it down below if any of this is confusing, but hopefully this is a resource that will help you and be an updated version in terms of what accuracies you're going to need when you're building champions in Raid, because getting the accuracy right on your debuffers is one of the most important things to do when you're building those debuffers for success. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.